You think the Giants are realistic, John, to sneak in there somehow? I don't see it.
No, I don't see that. And I'm worried about Milwaukee. I mean, they were in first place at the deadline, and, they've just gone south since. I think they're 6-11 over 17. And I had them winning that division. I love their pitching. I love the back end of their pen. It's diminished a bit without Hader there, obviously. I'm worried about them.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, they walk and they hit home runs. They don't score runs a lot of different ways, but they do catch the ball. I mean, they do. I really still like their rotation. Peralta's only had, I think, 3 starts since he came back from the DL, but Lauer's taken another step. Burns is still in the conversation of a Cy Young Award winner. Every time Woodruff goes out, you feel like you're going to get a quality start. So I do think their pitching has a chance to keep them in it. But I'll tell you, St. Louis is just playing really well as a team right now. And something happened at the trading deadline with these guys. They kind of lost the edge, and they have not yet been able to find it. Now, Craig Counsell, Pat Murphy, those guys do a great job of leading this team through some muddy waters from time to time, but they just can't afford to go on have a bad 10-game stretch. They're going to need to stay in this thing. But again, with that starting pitching, you just never know.
No, and they're 3.5 out right now. St. Louis, as you mentioned, playing well and playing Arizona later on tonight. The Hader thing, look, it's a 15-game sample we showed right there. If it was 15 in May, would we care? We'd say, bad couple of weeks. But everything is elevated, right? The further you go, every game counts, we get it, but the further you go, the more important it seems.
Yeah, well, I think the last 15 is since the deadline, and that deadline was kind of depressing for that team. That clubhouse was pretty upset. Hader has been kind of an automatic guy in the back end of that pen. That's a huge thing to have and a huge thing to lose. And when you saw Devin Williams, who's potentially was getting the promotion to at least co-closer, be so upset as he's getting a promotion to lose. They loved Hader in that clubhouse. They really did. They came up with him. Burns loves him. A lot of the guys on that team just loved the guy. And I think they were depressed, and that certainly was a jolt. And I think hopefully they've recovered from that to some degree. But I also thought, their offense is not bad because they do hit a lot of home runs and they walk a lot. I felt there were enough hitters out there for them to get somebody. Unfortunately, most of those hitters out there were either on the Cubs or other team in their division. There's an advantage to being in that division because they're playing weaker teams. I know you don't care about the schedule, Matt, but they are playing weaker teams. But then the disadvantage was those were the teams selling hitters, and they didn't want to trade them probably to a rival in their division. So that hurt them.
Okay. Well, all right. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. You're a people person.